Located immediately behind your vehicle's transmission, your Jeep's transfer case splits power to the rear of the vehicle via the rear drive shaft, and upon request in four-wheel drive, to the front axle via the front drive shaft. Like many other components of your Jeep, it is lubricated by a fluid. Today we'll go over how to change your transfer case fluid to keep it operating smoothly for many, many years. Before we begin, let's make sure that we have everything we need in order to finish the job. First, you'll need a receptacle in which to drain the fluid. You're going to need some way of cleaning up the mess that inevitably you're going to make. You're going to need a 10mm Allen wrench in order to remove both the drain plug and fill plug. And lastly, you'll need fluid and a means in which to put it back in the transfer case. Now, if you have a 231 transfer case, that's the command track, you'll need about 1.5 quarts of ATF plus 4. If you have the 241 transfer case, which is what we're working on today, you'll need approximately 2.1 quarts. So get 3, although you'll barely use the bit of the third one. Lastly, you'll need that method of transferring your fluid. That is a fluid transfer pump. And these can be found for just a couple of dollars at any auto parts store. If you're not sure which transfer case you have, there is a label, a tag, affixed just above and to the left of the fill plug. So this indicates this is a 241J, which is the early version, the TJ or LJ Rubicon transfer case. Let's get started. Now, if your Jeep is lifted a little bit, and mine has a small amount of lift, you may want to put a couple of blocks of wood underneath the fluid receptacle, otherwise you're going to get a lot of splashing when you pull the drain plug on the transfer case. Also, if your Jeep has aftermarket skid plates, it may be helpful to remove them in order to access the transfer case. Now, here's an important tip. Most people want to immediately undo the drain plug. Don't do that. You actually want to pull the fill plug first. Here's why. If you drain all the fluid out, and for some reason the fill plug is stuck, you can no longer drive your Jeep. But if you realize the fill plug is stuck before you let all the fluid out, you have time to figure out how to get it unstuck, and you can still drive anywhere you want. So we're going to crack the fill plug first. Alright, so fill plug is loose. Now on to the drain plug. Now, because automatic transmission fluid is not very viscous, when this comes out, it's going to come out fast. So I'm actually going to hold the plug and not let it all the way off until this is mostly done draining. Just like that. Keep an eye out for any shavings or particles. Hopefully it's still fairly red, just like this. This was changed about a year ago. I change mine every year. There we go. Then remove the plug completely. Set it someplace safe. Now let all of your fluid drain completely. So until that is basically done dripping, just wait. Now I think it's safe to say that there is no more fluid left in our transfer case. So let's go ahead and reinstall the drain plug. Your drain plug is tightened to between 15 and 25 foot-pounds of torque. So since that's a pretty broad range, we're actually not going to use a torque wrench. Good and snug will work just fine. With the drain plug reinstalled, now we can finally remove our fill plug, which we had loosened earlier. Set it aside someplace safe, and time to refill the transfer case. Now to fill your transfer case, I'm a fan of these inexpensive, almost disposable fluid transfer pumps that you can buy at any auto parts store. They only cost a couple of bucks, and to work them, all you have to do is screw them onto your bottle of fluid, push down, and it'll pump the fluid from one container into whatever it is you need to fill. In this case, our transfer case. As soon as fluid starts running out the fill plug, the transfer case is full. Then all you have to do is reinstall the fill plug to 15 to 25 foot-pounds, and you're all done. Should be just about there. And now we're done. Reinstall the fill plug. You have now successfully changed the fluid in your transfer case. This is Ryan, and I'll see you on the trails.